In this episode, we are going to be discussing our app, the SDE Method. For those of you who listened to the last episode, you know that we are very concerned with the state of the world. Well, honestly, especially in the last episode. And we want to reach as many people as we can. We understand that not everyone can afford health coaching, so we are going to dive into why we created the app and what it can do for you. But first, if you are a new listener and you get something from this episode, go back, listen to a few more, and leave us a quick 5-star review. If you have time, quick paragraph in there, it'd be great. Share us on social media. As we discussed, we don't charge for this podcast. It's a free podcast. The only payment we request is a quick 5-star review. That allows us to expand our reach. And again, we are not making money on this podcast, so the goal of expanding our reach is to help more people create change through awareness. As they become aware of these topics, they can implement these tools on their own. So it is your responsibility to help change the world, to allow us to reach a greater audience so that we can help change the world together. You don't have to be a health coach to create this change. You can just share the message. Returning listeners, same deal applies to you. And if you have listened to several episodes and have not yet left a review, please pause and do so now. And same concept, share us, allow us to reach a greater audience, create more change, and make this fucking world a better place. Circling back, last episode we discussed the state of the world. We touch on it, throughout all of these, but everyone is just, the majority of the population is not thriving. The majority are struggling right now. We're overweight. We are unhappy mentally. We are sick. Even those who don't have any current conditions, documented, we just don't feel good. Sleep is off. Energy is low. We're always hungry. We're always groggy. We're tired and just upset at the world. And there are things we can do to change all that. So we understand not everyone is going to be able to spend a significant amount on one-to-one health coaching to get that individualized approach. And that is really why we created the app. The SDE method is the simplified version of one-to-one coaching. Obviously, there's nothing personalized in it because we are not working with you specifically. This was not built for you. This was built as a general recommendation protocol. There are a ton of great programs from, is it the first one 2 days anywhere? Is it 2 to 3 days?
No, anywhere is still 4 days. It's just bands and body weight. But
we have 3 through
days.
6 day programs within there. Different, equipment required, so you can choose based on what you're enjoying, based on what you have time for, based on what you have the equipment for. Whether you're at home with bands and body weight or you're at a full scale commercial gym, different options available to you within that. Again, significantly lower price point. As of right now, you can get the app for $24.99 per month, which is absurd for all the things that we put into that. It's not just training. We have some protocols in there. We have the pre and postnatal care where it's not even just, the program, but there's tips and stuff going throughout. So why don't we go through the entire thing, just quickly explain what is in there for those who are not currently one-to-one clients, for those who are not currently enrolled in the app, so they know what's available to them and the tools that they can derive from it to live happier and live healthier.
Yeah, so the most popular programs in there are our monthly training programs that are updated on the first of every month. So we have 4 different ones that are updated regularly, and this allows you to actually implement progressive overload into your programming, get you results in the most efficient way. So we have Move, which is our 3-day per week program. We have Build, which is the same program as Move, just spread out into 4 to 5 days per week. The 5th day is optional. And then we have Physique and Physique Plus, which are your basic bodybuilding hypertrophy programs that are 5 and 6 days per week. So all of those are updated monthly, and they include videos of every exercise. You get a full layout of what the week looks like. Form cues from both Josh and I program all 4 of those. And then just obviously sets, reps, rest time. You have a rest timer in there. If there's any movements that are time-based, you can time yourself. Tempo, and I think that covers that.
Any specific guidelines will be in there as well. And it's important to note, these are not just, generic programs we created that we think people will like. These are our programs. We follow these programs. So I don't know what you're doing right now.
Well, I'm at the end of my pregnancy, so I'm not following it right now, but I've been following Build or Move for the last 4 years now.
And Physique or Physique Plus are mine. I create them both, and depending what my schedule allows for, 5 or 6 days, those are the ones that I'm doing. So Physique is just the 5-day modification of Physique Plus, which is the 6-day. So rather than push, pull, lower on the Physique Plus, push, pull, lower, upper, lower. So that push and pull day on Physique Plus is condensed into one upper day. Only difference there. But again, these are things we do. These are things that we obviously believe in, and they are structured accordingly to allow for progressive overload and the most efficient adaptations, as far as bang for your buck in that most efficient amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, these programs are intentional. It's not just us throwing exercises at you and saying, all right, have fun this month, go, do whatever in the gym. Like if you're just kind of winging it right now, or even if you're following a program that is not repetitive for at least 4 weeks, you are wasting your time, and that is why you are not seeing progress.
You swipe through junkies.
So this is our way of giving you efficient training without spending hours in the gym, without needing a fully custom workout, where if you want that customization, that's what one-on-one is for. So those are our 4 most popular / monthly updated programs. And the rest of what's in the app as far as training programs, we have our prenatal, which is the pregnancy program. Postpartum was just launched, and those both have full training programs. Like the pregnancy program, Beyond the Belly, will take you through 5 weeks of pregnancy through 40 plus weeks. Same thing, videos for every movement, full details on what you need to be doing. It's scaled to pregnancy and through the trimesters, and there's a whole guide along with that, with additional videos, a core video, everything you could possibly need. And then the postpartum program, I collabed with a pelvic floor physical therapist on, so it will guide you through 1 week postpartum of just like recovery, mobility type stuff that you can do in your house, through 14 weeks postpartum. So it's 2 phases. It's phase 1 and phase 2. And it just is sort of your return to lifting and just overall mobility. Lots of talk about core and diastasis recti. There's PDFs in there. There's videos in there.
Hold on.
In my postpartum.
Okay.
So everything you could possibly need to have a successful postpartum phase, early postpartum phase, is in that section. So those 2, and then the Anywhere program that we mentioned before is just our bands and body weight program. It's 8 weeks. You can repeat it as often as you need to, but it doesn't change. It's just kind of a standalone program.
So we'll go through some resources and what those resources and videos look like. I also want to dive into the Apocalypse protocol. So probably tier number 2, number 1 most popular is obviously those strength training programs, and then the 1A being that prenatal program for those of you, pre and postnatal, for those of you who are doing that or in that phase of your life. Apocalypse protocol. Now, this was something that was kind of created over time. It was things that we implemented that we really, really, really saw a huge improvement in our lives from. And we noticed themes. When we implemented this improved. When we did this improved. So this isn't random. It might seem like a bunch of random things we kind of just threw in there. But again, our goal is to give you guys as much of the one-to-one coaching experience as we can through the app. And these are a lot of the concepts that we're measuring and check-ins that we are, reviewing with clients and reinforcing with clients. So why is it called the Apocalypse protocol? Why isn't it, healthy habits? It is healthy habits, but we call it the Apocalypse protocol. This was my doing, I don't want to even say sick. I don't want to call it sick. Barrett's esophagus, being very unwell for a long period of time. My goal has always been to fight back to full health, to not rely on, medicine, to not rely on, a medical system, to feel safe, to be able to support myself again. Essentially, to be able to survive the apocalypse, should it ever come. Obviously there are very limited resources available to us at the end of the world. Can we survive on our own? So this is focused on overall health, mental health, resilience in regards to, challenging yourself mentally, and just some basic concepts that are going to improve overall health. So within the Apocalypse protocol, we have morning water, we have meditation, we have movement, we have cold exposure, we have personal development, we have plant intake, we have gratitude, We have some examples for Metcons. That's not really one of the pillars. It's just some examples to throw in for some additional movement and cardio, some fun stuff. And we have U time. So going through these, essentially, your morning water, the notes there are drinking a full glass of water when you wake up in the morning. And again, you guys have, if you follow Alessandra, obviously, that's on there every single day, but that is a huge part of improving your day.
Yeah, so these things, there's videos with each one, there's specific instructions, and it just kind of allows you to gain clarity on the small things that you need to be doing. Meditation.
The goal here is to work up to 10 minutes per day, but if you're reading through the notes, we want to start for a minimum of 1 minute. That's your starting point. Over time, you can work to extend that to 10 minutes per day, and that can be done by simply following your breath or via a guided meditation app. Get that done, you can check it off. Movement. What we put in here, and there are modifications to this, but run a minimum of a half a mile or walk a minimum of 1 mile. This is a baseline, but it can be any equivalent activity like cycling, swimming, playing basketball, etc. If you choose a different activity, aim for 15 minutes of a higher intensity movement or 30 minutes of a lower intensity movement. So you could swap this in simply for a daily step goal, 7,000 steps per day minimum. But we put something more specific on it, and that's going to really ensure that you're getting to that threshold. Cold exposure, again, we're starting with a minimum and then we're working up over time. So you could literally start with 10, 15 seconds in the cold shower. And then ideally you're not beginning or ending with warmer water. And you also have to understand that this is not a shower you're going to be washing yourself. You're just standing in there to get under the cold water. So with that, ideally, you want to work up to 2 to 3 minutes per day. Now, the golden number for those of you who are more privy to cold exposure, the golden number is 11 minutes per week. That's where you're really seeing the benefit. You're seeing brown fat adaptations. You're seeing, your immune system improve. You're seeing your cardiovascular system start to adapt to that. But again, you're seeing that cold response, that cold adaptation happen at 11 minutes per week. The issue that I saw personally with focusing on the weekly number is that you're then trying to chunk it up over some random days throughout the week. So if I go 4 minutes this day, 4 minutes that day, 3 minutes the other day, get it in when I can. If there's no habit associated with that, if it's random, it's going to get skipped. You're going to miss some days. You're going to fall short. You're also not getting the benefit of starting your day with that. Starting your day with some adversity, some structured, programmed adversity that you're overcoming. You get the mental sharpening first thing in the day. That's my cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee before I lift. It's the cold shower, electrolytes, and then I'm in the gym, and that's going to boost your performance as well. So to give it a habit, some of you aren't even going to have a cold plunge. That's fine. You don't have a tub to jump in. That's fine. Make it easy. Remove those points of friction and just jump in the cold shower. You can do your cold exposure, quote unquote, getting to that 11 minutes. You can count that externally with a cold plunge a few times a week. But make the habit, make the daily cold exposure, the non-negotiable, just a quick, 2 to 3 minutes in the shower in the morning. Personal development. The concept here is to focus on, the mental stimulation, continue learning. Complete 10 minutes of learning something new. This can be through reading a book, listening to a podcast, researching a topic that interests you. It doesn't matter. Whatever you choose, just spend 10 minutes learning. So for me, that is the Babbel app learning Italian. For you, whatever you're interested in. Some little side hobby, side gig. Learn about something new. Keep your brain working. Plant intake, very simple. Plants are very essential to your health. Plant diversity is essential to your health. That's the fiber diversity as well that's lumped in with this. All you need to do for this one is just have a plant at any meal. At every meal. So to make it easy, just have a thing of berries, that you could grab in a worst case scenario. If you're not making some veggies, if you ran out of whatever, have some berries, have some fruit. That all counts. Some chia seeds in your shake. One plant, hopefully more, but one plant at every single meal, non-negotiable. Gratitude, this is a journaling concept, but it's to make it a little easier if you don't want to journal, you aren't journaling. You can also vocalize that to another person. So either writing 3 things down that you're grateful for in a journal or expressing to your spouse, your significant other, your dog, 3 things out loud that you are grateful for. I'm going to skip over Metcons because that is literally just a list of some different Metcons that you can do. We have a bunch in there that you can pick and choose from. U time. Now, this one is a little different just because it's not daily, it is weekly. But here's the concept. You take 2 hours per week for yourself. This needs to be 2 hours on one single day, not broken up throughout the week. So go golf, go see a movie, take your spouse on a date, just go have fun. And this is to prevent burnout from everything else that we're doing, from the other training programs, from work, from the rest of the protocol. Not that you're burnt out from eating plants, but you get the gist. Having something to look forward to every single week is a huge part of our mental health. Hopefully you're doing this with other people, so it's building that community aspect as well. We all thrive when we have that you time, when we can be ourselves, when we can step out of parent mode on the occasion and just, be who you are. So that's the Apocalypse Protocol. Again, simple things we discuss on the one-to-one coaching side, but in a more general aspect, this is how we applied it into our app. And then some just general tools. We have a PDF resource library, and a video library. And in that, you're going to see things like training FAQs, setting your macros, improving your digestion, a guide to cold exposure, tracking for complicated recipes, reverse dieting, sleep hygiene, plant intake, personal development, increase your steps, macro cheat sheets, alcohol cheat sheets, eating out guides, vacation guides. You're seeing the general gist. In the videos, general education there as well. We've got coaching breakdowns, we've got guided warm-ups, more frequently asked questions. So giving you as many resources as we can in this app. The SDE method is training, nutrition, mindset, movement, and habits. That is the method. The SDE method app is what we did to encompass all of those things in a generalized version at a significantly lower cost, obviously, than our one-to-one coaching for those of you who just want to take that first step. So again, our mission here is to help as many people as possible. We need to change the world because the world as it is not currently working for anybody.
You forgot two things.
What'd I forget? Oh, yep, I did.
The meditation section and the running program. So we have full running programs within the app, a running guide on what you should be measuring. So we have a base building beginner program. So kind of like think couch to 5K, but a little more intentional. And then we have Extend, which is our beginner 10K program. So it will get you running a 10K over a period of, I think it's 12 weeks. So you can add those on to the strength stuff or do them separately. And then you have your meditation, guided meditations in there.
So I started that library. Not something that I planned to do, but we got more and more questions on meditation. How do I do it? Do you guys use an app? And rather than recommending, a bunch of different apps that you got to pay for, most of them, I wanted to set up something that was already included in your subscription to the app that is going to teach you what to do. So some of these, they're all guided. Some of them have more conversation than others. Basically me explaining the concept of what we're doing in that meditation, what we're focused on. Some of them are just, focusing on our breath. And then there will be reminder cues to come back to your breath. So for example, I might have a gong going off once a minute so that if you are distracted, you're lost in thought, you hear that gong, oh wait, I was lost in thought, I'm going to come back to my breath. So different things like that will teach you how to meditate the right way, and eventually you don't even need an app. So I don't train meditation. I call it training because it is training. I don't train meditation via an app. I do focused on my guided following my breath or going through something like Tonglen, so the giving and taking of suffering. Some different things that we can go throughout, and I do discuss a few of these within the app as well. But again, those 5 pillars of the SDE method are encompassed in the SDE Method app. It's called the SDE Method for a reason. That wasn't just some random marketing ploy. It is literally built around those 5 pillars: training, nutrition, mindset, movement, habits. The simple things that we can do, the simple changes that we can make to start living happier, to start living healthier, to get the most out of life, to change our lives, and to do so with the least amount of friction. Now, again, in that last episode, we discussed, the general misconceptions of what moderation are, of what we should feel like, of what is the norm. And everything we're doing through the podcast, through one-on-one coaching, through the app, these are all there to educate you on things we can be doing to create the new norm, because normal is not optimal, especially as it is today. So we just wanted to break that down for you guys, let you know what you have available to you if you so choose, if you are not where you want to be in life, if you are not feeling the way that you want to feel. a lot, I'll say most of our clients, our one-to-one clients, come from the app. So they got so much value from the app that they wanted to take it to the next level. And that's not a plug to get you to jump right to one-to-one coaching. It's just to let you know that, we didn't just throw this app together. Everything that's in there was put together with a ton of thought. And it was only applied because we have been using it for the vast majority of our lives. And, some things we didn't do as well earlier on in our lives, and we learned about what we should have been doing. And those are the things that are in the app. Those are the things that we have been doing for such a long time, and we believe so strongly in, that we wanted to take to the rest of you. These aren't fads. These are not general things we saw a swipe through on Instagram I really liked. Let me throw it in the app. If it is not tried and true application from us personally, you will not see it in this. So we're going to wrap it up there. Keep this one on the shorter side, nice and sweet. You can see the link to the app in the bottom of this episode, I believe.
Mm-hmm. It's in the show notes.
Where can they find you?
I'm at Alessandra Skutnik.
I'm at Josh Skutnik.
Everything else you need is there.
In the show notes.